Hey Eagle fans, I'm Thomas Mott. Welcome into Philadelphia Eagles Now. Quick question before we start today's video. Type your comments down below in the pinned comments section. Should the Eagles sign or draft a wide receiver? We're talking Kenny Golladay today on our news and rumor video. Type S down below for sign, type D down below for draft, or as we're going to talk about, how about B down below for both? Again, pinned comment, let me know down below right now. All right, let's go ahead and jump into the latest Eagles news and rumors. Let's start with Kenny Golladay, of course, the former Lions wide receiver, who will be a free agent coming up here at March 17th, just a couple of days from now, technically. And Philadelphia could be set to go all in on the Lions wide receiver. So right now, he's arguably the top free agent wide receiver. There's a couple of other ones like Juju Smith-Schuster expected to go ahead and be a free agent, so maybe he's the best receiver. But Golladay is someone who a lot of people don't fully understand how good he is and don't fully appreciate what he's done with Detroit the past couple of years. But I think Philadelphia, one, has had their eye on him for the past couple of years. He's been rumored in trade stuff and cut stuff, and Eagles making moves for him. And now the question is, should Philadelphia, who doesn't have a lot of money to go ahead and spend on free agents anyway, try and free up enough cap space to go all in on Kenny Golladay? Now, this all comes from Eliot Shorr-Parks, one of the controversial Eagle writers over at 94.1 WIP, who wrote an entire article about why Philadelphia should go absolutely all in on Kenny Golladay. He says, quote, "Finally, doing the financial gymnastics it would take to sign Golladay is worth it because it would help them turn Jalen Hurts into the starting caliber player they seem to believe he can be. Eagles made the mistake of not giving Carson Wentz any elite receivers on the outside, and as a result, he is now in Indianapolis. They can avoid the same mistake with Hurts. It's easier to do that now when he's on a rookie deal than it will be in just 2 more seasons when he is up for an extension." Now, again, I don't necessarily disagree with what Parks just said. Put as many targets and weapons as you can around Jalen Hurts. However, the price of Kenny Golladay, what it's rumored to be in free agency, $17 to $21 million per year, a little bit too much for me. And so the hoops that you have to jump through to sign Kenny Golladay, it just seems like a little bit too far-fetched for Philadelphia to go ahead and do. Again, can Philadelphia create enough money to go ahead and sign Kenny Golladay? Yes, we'll talk about restructuring here in just a little bit because Philadelphia has been restructuring contracts and they're close to being underneath the cap. Plus, they have a ton of money in 2022 in terms of free cap space, so you just kind of backload the contract and you can sign Kenny Golladay. However, a lot of little things you have to go ahead and do to get to that point, and $17 to $21 million a year is a lot for a wide receiver who, yes, is very, very good, but is coming off of a slight hamstring injury in 2020. And the other issue is Philadelphia is the number 6 overall pick. Why not just draft Jamar Chase, who might turn out to be as good, if not better, and I mean, not guaranteed, but he might, and then, of course, you pay him the rookie contract the next 4 years instead of paying Kenny Golladay close to what Julio Jones makes. Like, Julio Jones makes $21 million a year. Do you want to give Kenny Golladay $19 million a year? I'm not saying he wouldn't help out Philadelphia. I think he 100% would help out Philadelphia, but the problem is that he's going to be, in my opinion, a little bit too expensive. Again, 2019, he balled out. 11 touchdowns. He had almost, 1,100 yards receiving. Last year, I think he could have done that. However, only played in 5 games due to, of course, a hamstring injury, like we said. I think with the right team, this guy can continue to be an absolute monster because the frame is there, the catch radius is there, the over-the-top ability, the breakaway speed. I mean, the guy has all of the tools to be a really good wide receiver. However, Philadelphia's money to me does not make a lot of sense in terms of going ahead and jumping through enough hoops to sign Kenny Golladay. I'd be interested in Philadelphia potentially signing somebody else. Maybe you draft a wide receiver and pair him with the free agent wide receiver as well. I'm interested in that at the same time. But in terms of Philadelphia looking at Kenny Golladay and potentially signing Kenny Golladay, they should at least make a phone call. But if Golladay wants the money that we keep hearing, $17 to $21 million, it's just too much for me, and I would go ahead and pass it. What do you guys think? Should the Eagles sign a wide receiver, draft a wide receiver, or just do both? Type S down below for sign. Type D down below for draft. I want to see what you guys think about that one. And, of course, type B down below for both. Because I guess technically, Philadelphia could go ahead and draft somebody at number 6 and then also sign a guy like Kenny Golladay and have a really good wide receiver core if they can just go ahead and figure out how to make the money work. So, yeah, sign a wide receiver, draft a wide receiver, or B for both. Let me know down below. Let's go ahead and jump into some more Philadelphia Eagles news and rumors here. We'll go ahead and move on to the Eagles watching Trey Lance. So today, which of course is a Friday, of course you could watch this on Saturday or Sunday, but on Friday, which is today, Philadelphia is sending some people to go watch Trey Lance's pro day up at North Dakota State in Fargo, North Dakota. Now, of course, Trey Lance did not play last year in 2020, and yet he's widely considered one of the top 5 or 6 quarterbacks in this year's NFL draft. There are a lot of really good quarterbacks in this year's draft, and Lance is kind of that question mark of, Is he going to be like a really good quarterback that people just overlook, or is he going to turn out to be kind of a bust because one, didn't play last year, and two, has been playing at North Dakota State? Now, of course, Carson Wentz played at North Dakota State, so there's still a precedent for good quarterbacks coming out of that program, but the question marks are very, very heavy and remain and loom large around a guy like Trey Lance. The interesting thing, though, is that the Eagles are setting their offensive coordinator, Shane Steichen, and their quarterback coach, Brian Johnson, are going to be in person watching the pro day, of course, happening today, Friday, up there in Fargo, North Dakota. Now, the question that I had when I was reading this article was, does that mean that Nick Sirianni's not going to go? Is Howie Roseman not going to go? Because a lot of NFL head coaches are going. Like the Falcons are sending their GM Terry Fontenot and their head coach Arthur Smith. And upon further review, Sirianni and Howie Roseman will not be in attendance, which I think probably tells you all you need to know. One, Philadelphia has already basically said that they're not looking to go ahead and create quarterback controversy. So drafting a quarterback at number 6 to me is not really on the board anymore. And two, if they were really interested in signing a quarterback, I should say drafting a quarterback at number 6 overall, you would think the head coach and GM would want to be there in person to go ahead and not only meet a guy like Trey Lance, but watch him play. Now, there is video. You can just, film it and then send the video back to Nick Sirianni and let him figure it out. But I think the fact they're just sending the offensive coordinator and the quarterback coach should be enough to indicate Philadelphia will not be interested in going ahead and drafting a guy like Trey Lance. However, as we know, Philadelphia has been kind of odd in what they've done in the draft the past couple of years. I did not think they would go ahead and draft Jalen Reagor, and then they went ahead and drafted Jalen Reagor 21st overall instead of Justin Jefferson. So just because there's no Nick Sirianni, no Howie Roseman doesn't guarantee they wouldn't look at Trey Lance, but for me, I just don't see them doing this, especially at number 6 overall. Now, they could be sending people in terms of a decoy plan, because Philadelphia at 6 is in a prime spot for a quarterback to come off the board. So you send your guys, and you say, well, maybe we take a quarterback, and then somebody behind you, like the Patriots at 15 overall, the Niners at 12 overall, maybe even Denver at 9 overall, says, wait. If Philly wants a quarterback at 6, maybe we trade with Philly. That way we get our quarterback if they fall in love with Trey Lance. So it could be a smokescreen, but I don't see Philadelphia being interested in Trey Lance at all because, one, you create a lot of quarterback controversy, and two, as every Eagle fan knows, the Eagles have a lot of other needs at wide receiver. They have needs at defensive end. They have needs at linebacker. They have needs at cornerback, and potentially even needs elsewhere in terms of the secondary. So I think Philadelphia is not in on Trey Lance. I think it is interesting that they're going to go ahead and watch the pro day, but as a lot of teams do, they do go to pro days. Doesn't guarantee your team is going to go ahead and draft a guy like Trey Lance at number 6 overall. Again, great player. I think the fact he didn't play last year is probably going to give him a little bit of trouble in terms of falling in the draft, just a little bit, but it kind of feels like a Josh Allen draft all over again. They're different play styles and different players. Remember, Josh Allen was not really well known coming out of the draft, and he was knocked for playing at Wyoming, and then he turned out to be the best quarterback in that draft. So I think a lot of teams could think about the Josh Allen draft prospect and the way that his draft went down when they're reviewing a guy like Trey Lance, who could turn out to be really, really good, like I said, or could turn out to be not good at all. Honestly, nobody really knows. What do you guys think? I think I know the answer to this, but I'll ask anyway. Should the Eagles draft a quarterback at number 6 overall? Like, to me, it'd be ridiculous because, again, you don't want to create quarterback controversy with Jalen Hurts, but there are some people who are interested in this, and you're going to take the fact the Eagles are sending the quarterback coach and the OC and say, well, maybe they do, but I'm curious what you guys think. Should the Eagles go and draft a quarterback at number 6 overall? Y down below would be an indication of yes. N down below would go ahead and be an indication of no. Let me know what you guys think about this down below in the comments section right now. All right, again, make sure you guys are subscribed to Philadelphia Eagles Now, as we have next week is going to be nuts, right? Because free agency is March 17th. It's March 12th right now, the day that we're filming this video. And so that means things are going to happen between now and March 17th. And that means next week. So we got you guys fully wall-to-wall covered in terms of free agency with the National Football League. And I think Philadelphia's going to sign somebody. And if and when they do, we'll have it covered here. So make sure you guys stay tuned and subscribe to Philadelphia Eagles Now. All right, final news story here, and that is a couple of little bites we're going to combine into one big team news segment here. And that is the fact that Philadelphia officially received their 2 compensatory picks this week. They got 2 extra 6th-round draft picks, which we knew was going to come, but now it's official, and so they have a total of 10 picks in 2021. But they've also restructured Isaac Seumalo, the left guard's contract, to save about $2.4 million, and they have went ahead and restructured the Javon Hargrave defensive tackle contract, and that's going to save almost like $9.4 million. So they did a lot of restructuring. They did some of that earlier this week, and now the past couple of days, they went ahead and did it with Seumalo and Hargrave. And so Philadelphia is trying desperately to get underneath the cap in order to create cap space, maybe to sign some big-name free agents like Kenny Golladay. Who knows? Okay, first, again, the Eagles have 10 picks now in 2021. They have a first, they have a second, they have 2 thirds, one of which comes via Indy for Carson Wentz. They have no fourths, they have 2 fifths, and now they have 3 6th-round draft picks. They have their own 6th-round draft pick and 2 compensatory 6th-round draft picks, which were, of course, awarded to them this week, and then 1 7. So that totals out to be 10 overall draft picks. It's a lot of ammo. Doesn't necessarily mean Philadelphia is going to kind of move up into the 2nd round because, maybe use some thirds to go to the 2nd round. I think Philadelphia is going to be very active on day 2 and day 3 for like the 4th and 5th round because with all those 6th-round draft picks, they could easily move up and grab guys that they like in terms of just waiting instead of just waiting for certain players to go ahead and fall to them. So 10 picks in 2021 is official, and it makes the Eagles draft even more exciting and more important. And then, as we said, the Eagles have freed up about $11 million in cap space over the past couple of days with the Hargrave restructuring that saves $9.4 million and the Seumalo restructuring that saves $2.4 million. So currently, right now, Philadelphia is $17.3 million over the cap, but we're still waiting on the Lane Johnson numbers because that's going to bring it down, and we're waiting on the Brandon Graham restructuring we talked about on Monday. So I think Philadelphia is going to be really close to being underneath the cap here by the end of this weekend. All right, before we keep going, St. Patrick's Day is next week. It is Wednesday, just a couple of days from now. So go ahead and pick up your official Eagles St. Patrick's Day gear. Chatsports.com/Eagles Green is the link that you need to use. That's down below in the comments section. And all the gear right now is available for a very limited time, and the stock is getting lower and lower. So jump on these deals right now. As you see on your screen, a bunch of different options: short sleeve, long sleeve t-shirts, hoodies, and even some socks and stuff for the ladies as well. And so again, rotating around me on my screen or on your screen right now are all the different gears and more that you can go ahead and find at chatsports.com/Eagles Green. Again, the link is down below in the description box. And get it now. That way you get it in time for St. Patrick's Day on Wednesday. All right, quickly, final bit of interesting news here, more of a rumor side of things. ESPN has an article talking about perfect scheme fits for top NFL free agents, and they have Andy Dalton as the perfect fit for Philadelphia as the backup quarterback for Jalen Hurts. So it's not like a quarterback controversy or battle between Hurts and Dalton. It would be Dalton going ahead and being the backup quarterback in Philadelphia. Now, of course, we all know Andy Dalton. He was the backup quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys and filled in for Dak last season. Played, I think, okay. Obviously, he's a backup quarterback, not great. But it is interesting that they go ahead and link him to Philadelphia. Personally, I would rather just go ahead and re-sign Sudfeld. More on that in a second. But right now, Matt Bowman of ESPN, or Bowen, excuse me, does think that Dalton makes the most sense for Philadelphia. Quote on your screen right now, quote, "Think of Dalton as a veteran mentor who has been in every game situation during his career, and the scheme fit works too. Under an Eagles' new head coach Nick Sirianni, Dalton can throw the quick intermediate game, use his movement ability on boot, and deliver the ball on schemed-up crossers off play action." Again, I don't hate this, but I'd rather just re-sign Nate Sudfeld. Just re-sign Sudfeld, who's been in the Eagle organization for the past couple of years. And again, many people consider him to be a very good backup quarterback who just hasn't had a lot of time to go ahead and showcase his stuff. Preseason would help him out a lot. Didn't have one last year. And, of course, being not active on the 53-man roster on Sundays because of Jalen Hurts last year hurt him as well. So I would much rather just re-sign Nate Sudfeld. But I wouldn't hate Dalton. Again, he wasn't awful with the Cowboys. He's clearly not the starting level player he once was when he was the Cincinnati Bengals. But former TCU Horned Frog, to me, for the right price, could be an option for the backup quarterback spot. As I've said, Philadelphia doesn't need a backup quarterback because, again, Sudfeld's not signed yet, so they don't really have one. So we'll see what happens with Dalton and the backup quarterback spot over the coming days and weeks. Name a free agent Philadelphia should sign. We'll end on this. You guys, any free agent that you want them to sign, let me know who that is down below right now in the comments section. Again, ultimately, for today here on Philadelphia Eagles Now, I am your host, Thomas Mott. We go ahead and sign off. Stay safe out there. Enjoy your weekend. Enjoy the rest of your day.